Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be learning how to make a trouser for a 1-year-old boy. And for this class, you need your elastic, you need your material that you're using, you need your tape rule, chalk, and curve ruler. And for the measurement you need to take the hip measurement, the ankle measurement, and the trouser length. So once that is done, you can proceed to cutting your fabric. So if you want to get the accurate measurement of what to fold, all you need to do is to get your hip measurement. The hip measurement I'm using in this class is 22, and I added 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for allowance, which made it 24. So you divide 24 by 4, which is 6, and then you add 1.5 for crotch extension to that 6, which will give us 7.5. So if you are using the same measurements, you just measure 7.5 and you fold it as I've done in this video. And then don't forget to always pin whatever you are doing down. This will avoid mistakes, especially if you are using a fabric that does not stay in a place. So the first measurement I'm going to make now is for the elastic. From the selvage, I measured 2 inches down, and I'm going to rule that. So now from that ruling is where I will start my trouser length measurement from. My trouser length is 15 inches. So I'm going to start 15 inches from the line, and I'm going to mark it on 2 points before I rule it. Marking it on 2 points just helps your ruling to be straight, or your line to be straight. So after we've marked that, I am also going to measure my allowance, which is 3 inches. That's what I'm going to fold in. I measured 3 inches, and after I measured 3 inches, I also ruled that. Now our crotch line is 6 inches, and we got that by adding 2 inches to the hip line and dividing it by 4. Our hip line is 22 inches plus 2, 24, divided by 4 is 6, and that was how we got our crotch line. And I measured it from the line that I drew. That's the elastic line. And after I measured it, I also ruled that. On that same line, we're going to measure another 6 inches, and we'll also measure that on the waistline. The waistline is going to have elastic, so we want it to be big. That is why we are not measuring the original waist there. So after you've done that, you're going to connect the lines on both the hip line and the waist together, as I've done in the video. So now the next thing we're going to do is to extend by 1.5 inch. That's from the hip line. We'll extend from that 6 inches outward by 1.5 inch, and then we'll use our curve to just do it. You can use your hand, but it's just better you use your curve. And before you use your curve, you also go by 2 inches. It's just going to guide you on the crotch depth line. So after drawing that curve like that, it's already coming together. So now the next thing we're going to do now is to cut it out so that we can focus on what we are doing and to avoid confusion. And please, if you've watched this part and you're enjoying the video, I would like you to subscribe to my channel. I would like you to comment on things that you would love us to create on this channel. And I would also like you to share this video. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go back to class. So we are going to fold in the 3 inches allowance that we left on the lower part of the trouser. We're going to fold it in like that, and we're going to pin. I always emphasize on pinning just to avoid errors while cutting. So after we've pinned that, we're going to turn it to the other side, and then we'll measure the ankle measurement. So now the ankle circumference is 9 inches. 9 inches divided by 4 is 4.5. And then on the lower parts, I went in by 1 inch before connecting. So you use your curve ruler to connect from the ankle, that's the 1 inch you've gone in by, to the hip line. And after you've done that, we're going to measure 4.5 inch outward and mark it. So once that is done, we'll also add 1/2 inch allowance, seam allowance, and then we'll connect it to the 1.5 crotch extension that we've done. You can see that we are using the straight part of the curve ruler. So once that is done, we are going to cut don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and comment. Let's know what you'd like to see on this channel, and we'll definitely make videos showing that. So while cutting your fabric, don't forget to always look out for pins that might be there while you're cutting. Make sure to always check it and remove it from the way. It's going to help you from getting your scissors from being blunt, as you can see in the video. And then when you are done cutting, all I have to do is to remove the pin on the extension, and then you can see that the extension took the shape of the folding, so it's going to help you while you are folding it in. Now let's proceed to cutting the back fabric. You fold your fabric into two, and then you place the front on top of the folded fabric. Make sure to pin. And on the crotch parts, you extend out by 1.5 all the way to the ankle length. That's from the waist to the ankle measurement all the way down. And once we are done with that, on the other side does not need any extension, no allowance at all. So we're just going to cut that out, and basically cutting out the excess fabric, just as you can see in the video. And once we've done that, we'll also cut the other side with allowance. We'll just cut through the dotted parts that we've done. And before we cut the waist parts, we'll go up by 1/2 inch, and then we'll connect it to the waistline, just as it's seen in the video, just to create that slanted. It's optional because children, they don't have that bum to the reason why we do it is just to create allowance for the bum is so this part is actually optional, just in case you don't have that allowance in your fabric. It's totally optional. So now once we've done that, we're just going to cut out the dotted line. That's the crotch part out. And then from the video you can see that the back is bigger than the front. So after cutting, we're just going to take off all the pins from it so that we can start sewing. So now that we're done with all the cutting for the trouser, we'll place the back, one of the back and one of the front pattern together, and then we'll join the parts I'm pointing at now. And after joining, we'll iron it. And if you notice, I've also ironed the ankle extension I made, and I also made a notch there. So if you notice, I made a notch on the ankle part just for it to be able to lay flat. So after proper ironing, I'm going to join these parts now that I'm pointing at in the video. And I also ironed after joining. So now everything that we've done on one part, we'll do to the other part of the trouser before we now proceed to joining one leg of the trouser to the other part. Please make sure to always press your fabric immediately after joining. You can see the result of pressing in the video. It looks very neat even before finishing. So now we're going to pin the crotch parts together. I'm going to pin it because I want it to align properly before taking it to the machine. And if you've also not subscribed, please subscribe, comment and like. Thank you. So now after you've succeeded in pinning the crotch part together, you take it to the machine, you join and iron. So after ironing, we'll move to the waist part. So for the waist part, I ironed the extension. That's the 2 inches that we left for the elastic. I ironed it down and I also pinned it. The fabric is kind of tricky, so I did lots of pinning in this video. So now I'm going to take that to the machine now and join, but don't join everything because we need space, about 2 inches space for elastic. So that space I'm showing you in the video now is where the elastic is going to go through. So now for the elastic, I measured 8 inches, and then that 8 inches, I folded it into 2. So that means the elastic was 16 inches. So after cutting the elastic, I used my pin to pass it through the hole, and I did the finishing. I also closed that space up, and this is what we have. We have a really perfect trouser. If you also want to learn how to make the dashiki that was worn on top of the trouser, I have a separate video. I didn't want this video to be too long, so I made a separate video to make that. Thanks for watching till this end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Bye.